Good afternoon, viewers. This is the Rubaga Girls Debate Team. My name is Ajimo Gloria Michelle. I am the fourth speaker. On my right is Right Honorable Kwagala Tracy, who is the first speaker. And then on my left, I have Martha Gabriela, who is the second speaker, and Mukalu Varin, who is our fourth speaker. Today we are debating with Lakeside Secondary School, and our resolution is this house believes that war should never be justified. We are very prepared for this debate because we have done a lot of research about it, and we know that we are going to do just well on this motion.
House rules. Each speaker has 5 minutes. The first and last minutes are protected. The judge will ring a bell to signal the protected time. The bell will ring continuously after 5 minutes.
Resolved, the House, the judges, and the two antagonistic bodies. Good afternoon. My name is Nakisa Trisha, and we are coming from the affirmative side. And ladies and gentlemen, this House believes that war should never be justified. Allow me to break down the key terms of this resolution. According to www.oxforddictionaries.com, war is a state of armed conflict between different countries or different groups within a country. And justified is having, done for, or marked by good reason or legitimate reason. Never is at no time in the past or the future, or not and never at all. Ladies and gentlemen, according to www.geneva.channel, we have 3 categories of war. We have the interstate wars, which occur between 2 different countries. We have the intrastate wars, which occur within the states. We have the total wars, which occur between great multiple powers. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me move to our status quo. According to www.nbcnews.com, Putin seeks to justify Ukraine war in victory at Moscow's annual military parade, where he told the Russian troops that they were fighting for the motherland, for its future. But ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Lives, infrastructure, the environment itself is being destroyed. According to www.forbes.org, the Russian-Ukraine war led to $108.3 billion US dollars worth of infrastructure damage. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why our parameters are the geopolitical wars. Ladies and gentlemen, these are having massive destruction of lives. Yes, they do have an aim and reasons why they are happening, but that does not call for violence. Violence is not the best way. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the Russian-Ukraine war that started in 2022 on 24th of February. 8,231 people died and 13,734 people were injured. And ladies and gentlemen, according to www.history.com, the World War II in 1939 to 1945, about 70 million people died. Ladies and gentlemen, you can never put out fire with fire. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why our body is the International Court of Justice, established in an international court of justice that was established in 1945 and is located in Netherlands at The Hague. Ladies and gentlemen, it is led by Johan Donog. Ladies and gentlemen, according to www.un.org, this body has its jurisdiction within the 193 states, which include Uganda, Egypt, Russia, Burundi, among others. And ladies and gentlemen, our work plan as the affirmatives, we are saying that we are going to reduce the ability of the parties to get weaponry and capture their weapon bases. Ladies and gentlemen, we as the affirmatives are advocating for peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we are advocating for peace. We are also saying that we are going to use arbitration to take the cases to the International Court of Justice to make the final decisions in order for war not to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are saying you have had 70 million people have died due to these wars. Ladies and gentlemen, 70 million people. What are we trying to do? We are trying to fight wars. We are not advocating for wars here. If anyone tries to put fire out with fire, they will get banned. They will get hurt, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we are saying we are not advocating for wars. We are advocating for peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are saying that there should be there should be peaceful solution of problems, peaceful solution of solving disputes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, that we as the farmers are coming to say that wars are never to be justified. We should never justify war. Ladies and gentlemen, Allow me to rest my case. Thank you so much.
The panel of judges, the two antagonistic bodies, the August House, good afternoon. My name is Kwagala Tracy from Rubaga Girls. This house believes that war should never be justified, and war, according to the negators, is a violent conflict between states, and never is, it implies that that particular thing should never be put into implementation, and to justify is to have a good reason for doing something. The source is the 9th edition Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary and Google. Us as the negators are looking at war in the perspective of being an international war. What is an international war? An international war is looked at as being between states. Take for instance the Russia and the Ukrainian war, or it could actually be between a country and a rebel group from another country. Take, for instance, the US and the Taliban government, who had a conflict between them, and the rebel group was Al-Qaeda and the country was the US. We are also looking at wars as being non-international wars, which are between a state armed group and a non-state armed group. For example, the UPDF and the ADF. As the negators, we believe that there is actually a profound reason for the justification of war. There is a reason for every war's occurrence, and history bears me witness on that. We are fundamentally here to prove the justification of war beyond reasonable doubt, and our parameters are set to the globe, unlike the affirmers. Our house is the UN, in consideration of its capability and workability. We are actually advocating for the justification of war, that is as long as it is in the occurrence of self-defense. My dear judges, you are not going to tell me that you are going to be attacked and sit with folded hands and do nothing. That is if it's a direct attack. Take, for instance, the war that was between the Ugandan government and the Tanzanian government, when Field Idi Amin Dada tried to extend the territorial boundaries as far as Kagera. My dear judges, do you think the Tanzanian government was supposed to just look on as Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada was doing this? It obviously had to step in for war, and this was in 1978 to 1978. My dear judges, you'll also agree with me that actually war is justified if it is in defense of state property. What is the state property? We are talking of prominent people like the president. Take, for instance, for example, the World War I, its cause. Are the affirmers trying to tell us that Serbia was supposed to sit on its hands and wait for the peace strategies as they are talking of? No, it actually stood up for itself, and there was peace. We are talking of also state property as national army. If there is a direct attack on the national army, it's a complete declaration of war, and there is no need to wait for peace. And then if a country defies the territorial boundaries, it is obviously calling for war. And we are also talking of the fact that, my dear judges, war is justified if it is in defense of another state. War is actually justified for US to go and support Ukraine in the Russia-Ukrainian war. It's really justified. Then, war is also justified in the restoration of peace. Take, for instance, if a state is in unlawfulness and impunity, do you expect the country to sit on its off? No. And if the other foreign country is introducing forbidden national principles, should we just sit on our hands? No. This we are taking, for instance, the restoration of peace. We are talking of the attack on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which brought an end to the World War II, and this was the restoration of peace. Then you'll agree with me that war is actually an instrument of peace. And then our body is the UN and the UNSC. I rest my case. The time frame is immediate action, and the affirmers did say that. Thank you.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.